Hi, this is Professor Bauer. Welcome to ICT 4005, Technical Foundations. And this is week 7, where we will delve deeply into social media. It came to my mind as I was teaching this class that I don't think any of the students in the class, just guessing by your age and station in your careers, have ever lived in a world that didn't have social media. And so you truly are children of these technologies, for good or for ill. I know I met my wife using Match.com. So social media, I would have never met her any other way, probably. And I feel very fortunate to have that. I've had some wonderful experiences in social media, and like many, have had some ones that I'd rather forget. I think we're at the point of time, just a little commentary here, that we can step back and say, okay, what have been the good things? And there's absolutely nothing that would cause me to say this is completely evil or bad, nor would I take the opposite tack and say, this is an unmediated good for our society. I mentioned the movie, the documentary, The Social Dilemma, that's on Netflix, and if you want to discuss that video as a part of your assignment, go right ahead. There's one question that lends itself in there, and I would appreciate that. And I think you'll see a side of social media where the very creators, and these are people at the founding levels of companies like Google and Facebook and Instagram and others, who have had second thoughts about what the algorithms that they create are focused on doing, how they monetize all of the people. And that's really what it is. It's a people monetization mechanism, and what have been the results. And I would challenge you, if you think that there's nothing wrong with these technologies and hey, everything's great, take another look. It may be, and this is my own feeling here, it may be that some of the polarization that we feel, hey, it's 1 week before the presidential election, some of the polarization we feel as a nation, as a society, even internationally, may be somewhat influenced by these very powerful platforms. Something for you to consider. Okay, so the agenda. Let's take a look at it. Now, first of all, everyone's used social media, so we're all experts on it. Wrong. Just because you have an account and you've logged in and you chat and you LinkedIn and all the other stuff doesn't mean that you really know the technology, the algorithms, the business rules and technology rules that drive these platforms. It's worth it right now to really take a deep dive. The reading assignments are good in that way. You kind of understand the APIs, the application programming interfaces that drive these, why you can sign up with one account and log in with those credentials at a new account or somewhere else, the interoperability of some of these platforms, the way they feed into each other. You post on LinkedIn and it can be picked up by Twitter, etc. And we'll look at that. We'll look at the overview, the objectives, and then there's a large group assignment this week. I've already set up the groups. We have 4 of them. You're supposed to create a video and on the security implications of social media. I'll talk about that as well. So, week 7, social media. This is important. your company has a social media presence, you may be asked to contribute to it. You may be forced. I've been in a couple jobs where I had to tweet, several times a week. I was in one where it was several times a day, and a blog and a vlog and a bunch of other things that had to be done. And so those social media implications in your career are certainly things that, for good or for ill, we can't ignore. So we'll look. The overview is the implications on business and on individuals of social media. By learning objectives, we're going to look at how particularly businesses are impacted by this, but also very varied design models, SOAP and REST, take a look at how these platforms have to be secure. And so the activities will be reading the instructional materials, contributing to the discussions. If you want to watch the movie, there's some extra credit there, but just, make a comment about it. What did you take away? And I'm not saying that there's one particular opinion that wins the discussion. This one was very provocative, and I'd like you at least to think about it. And then you've got to create a video. And so this is Monday night, and so you should be thinking about that, setting up a meeting with your group. We're certainly going to focus on that at the Zoom room meeting on Thursday. So if you're kind of floundering around, get your group to attend on Thursday night. We'll give you a roadmap, we'll walk it through, and then you can get it done over the weekend. Here are the readings, 4 major ones. All the links are here on the Canvas platform. And so the Zoom room this coming Thursday, remember it's 7 o'clock. I'm sorry, it's 6:30, and in the Zoom room and the coordinates you have. It is a 200-point assignment. Everybody gets the same grade, so you will want to make sure that you give your very best work. You're divided into 4 groups. I think there are 3 with 4 students and 1 with 3 students. I do have a feedback mechanism that I've engineered into this assignment, that if there are students who decide, well, I don't have to do anything because I have these people in my group and they're going to do a great video. We have a back channel that we work on, and we don't like freeloaders. We don't like freeloaders at work. We don't like, one of the things you find out being in the program is who you can rely on. And I want you to be able to make that experience. Some of you already know some folks and you wanted to group with them. I want to give you the experience of perhaps meeting some other ones that you can rely on as well. That's why I made the decision to make those groups myself. So you're going to prepare a recording. You can do voiceover with slides. It's not a talking head in particular, unless you want to present that way. So here are the details on this slide, and then the action plan is basically meeting up with your team. Make sure that it includes content from weeks 1 through 7 of the course. So it's not just social media, it's big data, it's security, it's all the other areas that are working together, and put it under the assignment area for the course for week 7. I don't care what the tool is. If you want to do PowerPoint and film the slides, do a voiceover. If you want to cut a YouTube video, you certainly can do that. Make it private so that the whole world isn't out there. The recommendation is to use Zoom because it's really pretty easy to do. And make sure that you practice, get your lines, get a script, and don't. And the one thing that students often do is they want to be interesting, and they end up being cutesy. Don't worry about the production values and flaming logos and some flashy, slick kind of thing. You're going to have video people in your company who do that. I mean, some of you work for Disney. I mean, I think somebody's going to be able to do the video for you. But what they can't do is put good information together. And so I am going to be grading based on the information, coherence, and clarity, and make sure that you walk through the assignment as it's written in Canvas so you'll have a sense of what's required, okay? Recording the screen, the presentation is necessary, but you don't need, as I mentioned, you don't need to do a talking head. And don't go over 15 minutes. Don't try to say, well, if I have 45, if our group has 45 slides, we're really going to get a grade. Well, you're going to get a grade, but you're going to get a grade for doing too much. And remember, the average slide should take around 30 to 40 seconds. So if you got 15 minutes, you're not going to do a ton, and you've got chapters 1 to 7 to feature on. So keep that in mind, okay? Probably about 12 slides, and I think that would be a good, a good way to look at that. The rubric is right here on what you're going to be graded for. Again, 200 points, and don't forget. Always remember Professor Bauer's famous 5 P's principle. I learned this as a cadet at West Point. I think it was George Washington who was the instructor who taught us all this. Prior planning prevents poor performance. Okay? Prior planning. Okay? That's what we really need to have here. Okay? Keep those 5 P's in mind. This is week 7, just a few weeks to go, and you're heading into the clubhouse turn. If this was a racehorse or horse race, but keep that in mind. Do great work this week, and I look forward to watching your videos, and I'm really looking forward to that. Have a great week. Work well together. Talk to you later. Bye-bye now.